First step I would tell you is, where do I want to be in 5 years?
Yeah.
So before you even start thinking, I might want to do this, I might want to do that, that's cool, okay? You might want to do these things. You might want to do those 3 things. You might be successful with it. You might not be successful with it. I don't care about any of that. Where I would start is, okay, I'm aware I've been doing this for 10 years. My job satisfaction's down. My happiness is down. I'm not feeling fulfilled. I feel like there's a ceiling. I'm tired of my industry, whatever the reason is, okay? You've had this inflection point in your life, okay? The first place I would start is, where do I want to be in 5 years?
Welcome to the Men Are Forged podcast. This is your host, Cartwright Morris. If this is your first time listening, please jump on over to menoreforged.com, subscribe to the email list, and see how I can help you today advance into your life purpose and live that out. So jump to menoreforged.com, and thank you for listening. All right, excited to have y'all in today on a Friday. Something I'm really excited about, just with all my great guests, and Zach really hit on it, is just collaborating more with these guys, and something I really, as I go through and as continually posting and building my brand and creating this podcast, because I think it's just so valuable. It's the way I learn. It's the way I know many of us learn. Just looking for opportunities to collaborate with people. I'll be posting something soon on most of my platforms, but want to let y'all first know that, I'm kind of offering a free service to anyone who's starting or trying to build a podcast. To really offer some type of services, and it's a free collaboration, a free consulting of really kind of 3 things. What do you need right now? Kind of take inventory of what you have and what you need. Think about what you want to do. Who do you want to reach? And then kind of the third phase would be also like, all right, now where you're heading. What's kind of some of your goals? How's the best get there? Think of a social media plan as well. I know as men, as I'm finding, I'm trying to get more in that video space. If any of y'all have seen my Instagram feed, Men Are Forged, posting more reels for my interviews, 1-minute clips, just little insights, little high points from my interviews, and just super grateful for all my guests, especially like Zach, because they're just very generous people, and I'm just very thankful to be rubbing shoulders with some of these really great people, and would love to just collaborate more with others who are kind of in a similar boat as me, or a little bit behind me, and share some of my insights. So jump on to menoreforged.com /podcast consulting. There should be a link on my page soon as well. Check that out. So just the interview. So speaking of, just a little bit to that, and that little 30-second clip from my interview with Zach this past week. He had so many really good little quotes that are all kind of overlapping that were really good, and this one that really stood out to me, that inflection point or that humbling experience, that humbling moment that it kind of requires in our life of like, man, why do I keep going down this direction? Why am I holding on to this? And that could be a relationship, that could be a job, that could be a house, a circumstance, something that's holding you down financially. Why is it holding you down? And really, he kind of asked that question, where do you want to be in 5 years? But, maybe a different way to ask it, because I do love that question. But the way I kind of talk to my clients, and a question that keeps coming up in my mind is like, what do I want my life to look like? In the context of like my daily life, what I want to wear to work. How do I want to get up in the morning and start my day? Do I work better in the mornings? Do I work better in the afternoon? Do I want a more variety type day, or do I like the structure of a work environment? Do I want to be in an office, or do I want to work remotely from home? These are questions we can in 2022 kind of ask, and we're going to have to sacrifice something to get it, to really do these things. But like asking that question, what do I want to be in 5 years, so I could plan it out, get there, right? And what am I going to sacrifice? But then two, like really, what do I want my day-to-day to look like? So therefore, what am I willing to give up to make that happen? A quote that Zach also said if you have more than 3 priorities, then you don't have any at all. He was quoting somebody else, but it's like, that's just so true. If you have more than 3 priorities, then you don't have any at all. Like, too many of us are just trying to be all things to all people. We're trying to be just spread everywhere. We're not. We're just not. We just can't do that. We got to literally write down on a piece of paper, what is it I really want? What I want my relationships to look like, my community, my income, and how do I put those things at the top and make them my focus? It's really hard because we really want to do more. We want to help more people. We want to give more of ourselves, our time, our resources, but we're very limited, unfortunately. And making our goal to get to the point where we're, the happiness is down the road, right? That's just a little bit of a foolish thinking, foolish thought. And I think we can all really learn from kind of that mindset of, what's going to make me, what am I like another thing that Zach said that was so good was, what objects are kind of the gatekeepers of my emotions? What are the things that I feel like I'm working towards that I have to have that's going to be dependent on my happiness? And really, it's like, man, happiness is really right here, right now. And it just all depends on how you look at it. I mean, I had a couple episodes back that talked about strong mindsets outlast good behaviors, because it's so true. A lot of us get that entitled thing by having good behavior, right? Like that the warden's finally going to let us go if we're good. Like just continually and I am as guilty as anybody about this, that, you think you do the things you're supposed to do, show up on time, you're a good person, or you're a nice person, you check all the boxes, and you think all of a sudden somebody's going to hand you $1 million to say thank you for doing all the things that society says you're supposed to do. And it's just not reality, right? We've got to make life uniquely towards us. We've got to build a life that we really want according to what we want deep down. But if we're not willing to ask that question, and we're basing it off the culture around us and people around us, man, it's just a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for anxiety and a midlife crisis. I'm finding more and more people are like, man, I'm just tired of working for the same people, do the same job, not being appreciated for it, and I'm really just doing it for the paycheck and the health insurance. And unfortunately, this is kind of the world we're in with inflation going up, and health insurance is definitely not helping. Speaking of a corporate monster. It's not conducive to make these financially free decisions. But I think there is something to, like, hey man, I got to sacrifice some things to get where I really want to be. So I would just recommend let's be hopeful about the things to come, but also let's learn to be more present. Let's learn to enjoy our life now. I am also as guilty as anybody in that sometimes I'm just getting too much in a deadgum hurry. I think we got to slow down and really continue to ask that question on a daily basis. What do I really want? When I get this like urgency thing, and I'm like fighting for some forward movement in my life to reach a certain place, I just miss on the good things. I'm recently married, and we are definitely still in the honeymoon phase. Me and my wife have a really good thing going, and we've got a good life. Really, we really do. Are we living in the place we want to live now? No. Are we our jobs in the most ideal place? Not really. But at the same time, we have, we have time throughout the day. We're not working 12-hour days. We're making good enough income, and we love spending time together. It's like, so we've got a really good thing, a really good foundation. But right now we've got to really sometimes be intentional with what we're really building in our life and what makes our life really great now that we want to continue to carry over to when the income goes up, to when we live in the house we want to live in, to when the responsibilities get higher with kids and life and the extra complexity, and we're being pulled, more ways, and time isn't as available. So I think this is just really important that sometimes in our 20s, we really think that happiness is getting all these things. And then we forgot what makes life really good. And we got to hold up the things we think we're supposed to have. And we miss out on we miss the question of what at the end of the day do I really stinking want? And so, yeah, so I know I probably said this 1,000 times, but yeah, I think we all need to ask that question today. What do I really want? Do I really want to take inventory and stock of my life in the midst of just my hustle and grind of gaining all these things that are good within themselves, but have they drowned the true passion and desire, true ability to keep me present and enjoying the things that really matter? So, all right. Appreciate y'all listening. And go to mentorforged.com. Plenty of resources there for you. Would love some more feedback from y'all. You can go to mentorforged.com/review the podcast, and there'll be a Google form for you to fill out. If you can't find it, just email Cartwright at mentorforged.com. I'd love to send you a review. That way, it won't be anonymous that way, but I still would love feedback. Still trying to grow this, and and I'll see y'all next time.